let you know a little bit of background, so I'm not sure if anybody really knows what Cadets really is. So, Cadets is a dynamic, structured youth program offering a variety of interesting and challenging activities to the Canadian youth. It develops an increased level of self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-awareness. Cadets are motivated to improve their physical fitness, work harder at their academic studies, and to give back to their communities through volunteerism. Cadets are encouraged to become active, responsible members of their communities. The Cadet program has a direct impact on Canadian society as a whole. There is a definite value in having well-rounded, community-minded, experienced young people who are ready to assume their places as tomorrow's leaders and decision-makers. Cadets make valuable contributions on a daily basis in terms of environment, citizenship, and community. Cadets learn life and work skills, such as teamwork, leadership, and citizenship. Now, another big life skill that our cadets actually learn is they get to learn to do laundry, because they are responsible for doing their own laundry, and they are responsible for sewing all of their badges on. So those are major life skills. I think they're major. Kids can do your own laundry, that's a big accomplishment. The development of responsible and caring citizens is one of the most important aspects of the Cadet program. Throughout the year, cadets participate in citizenship activities in cities and towns all across Canada. So what we have done in the past for citizenship activities here with our cadets is we have done community cleanups, we've done highway cleanup, we deliver your chamber phone books, so all the chamber phone books that go up to Spruce Grove, we deliver those. Years ago, 10 years ago when I first started with cadets, it took us a month to get those phone books out to deliver to the whole Spruce Grove. Now we can manage it in one day. Well, probably starting at 9, we're done about 3 in the afternoon, so the whole Spruce Grove, we get all that done. The Cadet program encourages youth to be fair and ethical leaders. The cadets learn to take responsibility for their actions and motivate their peers, and to follow their example. In our program, when our cadets reach their level 4 or they've completed their 4th year of training, they are now the leaders of the program. So they actually take and instruct the program to all the younger kids. So we give them a task, they go and they take that task and carry that task out. So they have to prepare a lesson plan, sit in front of the cadets, and talk and teach the program. And that's their on-the-job training, so to speak, for them. They also have to plan activities. I plan basically the whole cadet year, but the cadets give me the information that they want to do for that year. Do they want to go on a field trip? Do they want to do a long trip, or say on spring break or something? Or do they want to do laser quest, laser tag? I arrange all that. So they give me what they want to do. Cadets is the largest federally sponsored youth program in Canada. It contains the Sea Cadets, the Army Cadets, and the Air Cadets, and they're all in our region. We have quite a few in Parkland County, and our Parkland County is quite large. We have cadets that come actually from Tomahawk to our unit. And we've had cadets that come from Cheryl, which is up by, on the way to Whitecourt, and they come to parade with us. So it's a long ways that these kids travel. Ages from 12 to 18 years, and they learn all about the sea. If they want to go to the sea, they will go sailing. If they want to learn about the air, they can go flying. If they want to learn about rock climbing, go to the Army. So if we have a cadet that comes to us and they're more interested in sailing, we will direct them to the Sea Cadets. If we have somebody that comes to us and they want to learn out in the bush, the animals, everything that you do out in the bush, rock climbing, that stuff, we'll direct them over to the Army Cadets. We want them to be doing something that they enjoy. Cadets are not members of Canadian Forces, nor we expect them to join the military in any way, shape, or form. But they learn about us and we give them some structure. And a lot of our cadets really like the structure. We ask our cadets to work hard in school, so that if there is any time when our cadets say, oh, I can't come to cadets, but school is really hard on me right now, I've got to have my studies, take some leave and go into your studies, because school is important. When our cadets get to the age of 16, they can go out for scholarship applications And those scholarship applications, we take into consideration their academic skills and their cadet history. And they are interviewed by a number of people. They sit on a board, and you're sitting in, they've got a little 16-year-old cadet, you're sitting in front of a table with 5 adults in front of them, questioning and questioning and questioning and questioning them. And we see how those cadets react. And these cadets have to be selected from probably 500 cadets that are auditioning for these parts for scholarship. And scholarships can range anywhere between an international exchange, so they'll go off to Europe, down to the States. They can go off to Quebec, do some training in Quebec. They can travel all across Canada to do some training. They can get their glider pilot's license for free, plus they also get paid while they're getting their license. They can get their power license, and they can get paid while they're doing their power license as well. So that's about a $15,000 scholarship for our cadets, and they have to audition and work and earn that. And their academic knowledge and their skills in school fall in a great big deal of that. And that happens every February in our year. We have medals that the cadets can apply for. There's 3 medals that our cadets usually get within a year. The first medal is given to the level 4 cadets, so they've been in for 4 years, and that's their long service medal. So they get a little medal they get to wear on their uniform, and a lot of them think that's really cool. That's awesome. That's their long service term. They also can apply for a Lord Strathcona medal, and that medal is for general all-around cadet and the physical fitness, so the fitness part of the program. They can also apply for the Legion Medal of Excellence, and that medal is all-around cadet and is community service. So we take a lot of their community service into account. Our squadron right now is actually going to be 50 years old in 2 years. So we're at 48 years. We started out in Winterburn. That was way before my time. So I'm not sure how we ended up from Winterburn to Parkland. I was trying to find some history on us, and I couldn't find much for our history on that. We have about 55 cadets parading with us every Thursday night, and we're out at Muir Lake Community School. We're very fortunate to have the school to use our parade area. And the government of, I'm going to put this down and talk now. So the government of Canada, the Department of National Defence, funds some of our programs. What they fund for us is our Thursday night training, papers, pens, pencils, things like that. They don't cover our rental of our building, so we fundraise for that. They give us 2 camping weekends a year. We get to eat bagged food. It's not the greatest food. It comes out of a bag, but it's food. And we have a gliding day, so the Air Cadet League of Canada pays for all the gliding that our cadets do. So we get to go up to Villeneuve, and on Saturdays you'll see yellow planes circling around Villeneuve. Those are our Air Cadet gliders. We also do 4 other training days. One of those days is usually Remembrance Day. We tend to go up to Cheryl for Remembrance Day because we had a cadet that came from Cheryl to our unit, and to pay back for Cheryl, we take all the kids and we bus them all the way up to Cheryl. And it's kind of neat when we go to Cheryl for Remembrance Day services because the kids, out of our 55 cadets, 30 of them are actually partaking in the whole service. So our whole unit basically is doing the service, which is a big accomplishment for a lot of our kids. We're giving them the whole leadership of the service. The other days we have poppy sales. We do our poppy sales in the Markham Mall. And we also go up to our sponsor unit, which is AT, which is Aerospace Engineering Test Establishment out of Cold Lake. So we travel up to Cold Lake and they tour us the hangar. We get to sit in the F-18. The kids get to sit in the F-18. Not too many people get to do that, but the kids get to. Can't take any pictures of that, but we get to sit in the F-18s. We even get sometimes helicopter rides in the driven helicopter. So they go down the river in Cold Lake doing this and making everybody sick. But yeah, I tend to get nauseous on those ones, but that's me. But the kids just love it. They love to sit and hang out the door. No ground, and just look down and see nothing but the ground. So it's kind of a neat experience for our kids. I do marksmanship. We have kids that we do the air And with our air rifle, last year we had one of our cadets, the air cadet, actually make it to Quebec and qualify on the national team. He came 70 out of 135 kids, and he was the only air cadet in Alberta that got to go to Quebec. So that was quite an accomplishment for our unit. We also have a drill team. So we get a bunch of little cadets out there, and they march around in a really good formation. And we came in 7th in the last drill team competition, which was just a couple weeks ago. And we have a band, which is already mentioned, pipes and drum band. When my son was starting cadets 10 years ago, he came home with a little note saying he wanted to be a piper. And I thought, oh, okay, it's free, why not? So I let him join the pipes, and he ended up getting pretty far in his pipes and going to camp, and came home one summer after 6 weeks of camp, and I couldn't get the pipes out of his mouth. And it was really loud in the house, but it was good though. He had fun doing it. And after that, my daughter, who joined, she picked up the snare drum. So I have one little pipe band in my house. It's pretty loud sometimes, but it's kind of a good accomplishment. We play together, that's when we're not fighting. It's kind of nice. My husband is a Reg Force member, so that's, I kind of grew up here. Mrs. Kasenko was actually my grade 7 and grade 8 English teacher out of LA.
Everything you know I taught you.
I still remember an awful lot from those classes, so
Thank you. Thank you.
So I've been here, my husband's from Edmonton, and we've been in Calgary and back here. My husband's been away many, many years. About half of our marriage has been out doing his job. So I've been a single mom and doing all the stuff that I do. So it's hard to find extra time, but with the cadets, it's a passion that I have with the kids. And when I'm not doing it, I feel like something's missing from my life. So I started out just as a mom, helping. They needed extra help with the squadron. I said, here, put on a uniform. I'm like, oh, okay. So put on a uniform. Had it on for about 5 years now, and enjoying it. So our squadron's pretty good. I'm pretty proud of our kids. And last year we went to Victoria. Took our kids to Victoria. They got to go on a, I was trying to think what the word is. It's a vessel. It wasn't a ship. It was called a vessel. And it was going out to explore for mines. I can't remember the name of the vessel. But they got to go onto that ship and tour that ship. And next year, we are planning on taking them out to, actually out of Canada. We're planning on going to Europe with our kids to take them to Canada's battlefields. So we want them to experience what our Canadian soldiers did over there so they can get a better respect for our veterans, because a lot of our veterans aren't with us anymore. Although there is an awful lot of younger veterans that are happening with all of our new soldiers that are coming back. But we want to give them a chance to explore and see what's happening in the world. So I'm taking 36 cadets off to Europe next year with a few parent volunteers and some staff. So it should be quite exciting, and we're doing lots of fundraising in order to help that go. So, does anybody have any questions? Sure.
Origins of the cadet organization.
Origins?
Yeah.
When it started?
Yeah.
1800 was when the Army Cadets first started, and that was way long time ago. And then the Navy League started just before World War II. No, sorry, 1909. The Sea Cadets and all that. Air Cadets came a little bit later, about 1940. And then King George actually gave us the Royal, partly because of what the cadets in general were doing for the war effort at that time. So he gave us the Royal, so that's why we're called the Royal Canadian and the Royal Sea and the Royal Army. And 1975, girls were finally legally allowed to be in cadets. A lot of times before that, we were in cadets, but we weren't seen, but we were doing administrative and things like that back before 1975. Yeah. So.
I know there's a few other communities in Alberta where Rotary clubs are involved as sponsors of cadet organizations. What would that sort of relationship entail? Are they providing financial support or operational support?
Financial support for all of our extracurricular activities. activities. So the government will pay for, as I said, some weekends and the mandatory training we do on Thursday. But our sponsorship, our parents committee, and anything that we get from sponsorship goes to anything else that we do. So our trips to Cold Lake, it's kind of interesting. Our sponsor squadron is in Cold Lake. It's 325 kilometers away, but the government or D&D will not pay for anything that's over 300 kilometers. So if we lived in Edmonton and drove up, it would be okay, but because we live in Spruce Grove, Stony Plain, we have to pay for our bus to get to our sponsor squadron. So those are the things that sponsorship for.
And how do you typically fundraise?
We do our phone book delivery. We do highway cleanup, the cleanup, city cleanup, anything that we can do. Commonwealth Stadium. We have Commonwealth Stadium. So if you go to the football games, please come to concession number 2. It's the Air Cadets concession. We have the Air Cadets actually working in that concession because we don't sell alcohol there. So the cadets can actually work it, and they can actually put that down as a part on their resumes, that they actually working in food prep. And we sell that. We have to do 6 events, so we get, I think it's about $1,000 per event that we work at the Commonwealth. And we do every event.
Wow.
Do you know how many actually around this area that actually joined the Red Cross after their cadet? And did it help them get into the Red Cross?
Yes. We actually, when I started about 10 years ago, we had one young lady, awesome young lady, she was just phenomenal. She got her glider's license because the people, when she went in for her scholarship, they looked at her education and then her passion. And because she was so excited about the program, they gave her a scholarship for her glider. So she got her glider's license, she got her pilot's license, and then when she left cadet, she did join in the military, and she went down to the Royal Military College in Kingston, and she did that. So she's university, had her university paid for, become the military, and now she's working in 408 as a technical support person. So, but she's been having a phenomenal career with the cadets and the military. Our one cadet that went to the nationals last year in Quebec, he did everything you could speak of in cadets. He did instructional leadership, he did marksmanship, he did the range, he did sports, drill. He got quite a few awards, top cadets awards, and he was our commander as well. So I really miss him now. He's not in cadets, but he's looking to go into flying in Manitoba, take lessons in Manitoba. But we've had a few that go to Kingston, which is really a good accomplishment. They go and they get the university paid for. Yeah.
Is the intake continual? But by that I mean, do you join at 12 and leave at 18, or can you join on?
Yes, actually, this is the first year that we have considered a late joiner policy. So we've had cadets this year. We had probably 5 that started when they were 12, but we had 2 that were 14 and 5 that were 16. So we had those cadets, and usually before we were only allowed to put them in the level 1 learning program. But because now the military has decided that everybody learns according to their developmental period, which is more like their age levels, so we've got to put them in their age group. So they're with their peers now, and we've got 5 of them in level 3 and got some that moved up to level 2. So we take them all year round. I even had one that started last year, or not last year, last week, and he's just 12 and he just wanted to start. And I said, because it's so late in the year, I told him that he'd have to repeat the level 1 training because he won't get it all completed this year. And he said, that's fine, I just want to be a cadet. I said, okay, as long as you understand and you're aware of it, then, you know.
How do kids find you?
How do kids find us? Word of mouth is a lot of it. A lot of kids at school, word of mouth. Yeah. And we go to the info fair, we're at the info fair in the fall, and we're out whenever we can to be in uniform.
Is there a membership fee of some sort?
Cadets is free. There's no membership fee. All it involves is our time. And me, myself, as a full-time dental assistant, I have my full-time job, and I have my time with cadets, and I probably put about 30 hours a week with cadets, including weekends, on top of what I do.
Do you have to pay for like the uniforms and that?
Nope. Everything is free for the cadets. If we had to charge the cadets for their uniform and everything, that we're probably looking at about $2,000 per year per cadet for their activities and everything that goes on. But everything is free. It's just our time. And all our fundraising. Yeah. And we get the kids out to fundraise with us all the time.
The kids are out there. Yes.
Anything else?
Okay, well, thank you very much.